Hi, this is Helen Tarrant. Hi there, this is Helen Tarrant again for another episode of Commercial Property Roadshow. Now, one of the things I want to actually talk to you about today is what to look for in a small town when you do an inspection. Now, a lot of people come to a small town, they drive up and down, and there's probably only 2 streets to a small town, sometimes only 1, and you're wondering to yourself, what exactly am I going to look for if I'm buying a property in the middle of town or on the outskirts of town? Is there one part of town that's going to do better than the other? What exactly is I'm going to look for? You see, regional towns work a little bit differently to towns in metro areas. In metro areas, everything's in a hub. So if you're in a hub, even if you might be a little bit further out from town, you've got light tenants, that's going to keep generating more walk past traffic, becomes a destination. In town, there is one part of town that will always do better, and it's usually somewhere near the supermarket, the trade store, and maybe some of the areas where they have some of the good restaurants and cafes. If you happen to be in that side of town, you'll find the properties are much easier to tenant in the future should it become vacant. Also, one of the things to look at is what is the supply into town. So what is its major key drivers, but also who are the other tenants. You'll find that in a small town, a lot of the tenants have been there 10, 20, 15 years. They've been there for a long time, and a lot of them don't move, and a lot of them own the premise as well. So one of the things also to look at is actually refurbishment costs and renovations, because it's going to have longer vacancies if they do become vacant, but also refurbishments means that it will actually cost you more, and there may be potentially more wear and tear on the property if it's out in regional because of the sun and the weather and just generally those areas. So when you look into town, go for an up and down walk along town. Find out what's the most popular areas. Find out where the supermarket is, and that's generally the area that has the most amount of hub as well. Look at the traffic of where the parking is, because a lot of that is centralized into town and into one area of town as well. And check out where, most importantly, where the pubs are, because that tend to draw a lot of people as well. So you want to make sure that your property's more into that centralized area as well. Also, to be mindful is that there is probably less rental growth in a regional town than you would in a metro area. So make sure that you have a tenant, and that the tenant have a solid business and practice, and that if you're getting CPI, that's going to be persistent income going forward as well. So when you are looking at a small town, I check out, some of the community areas. I look at their real estate brochures so that I can know how much local residential are being sold for. I look at any of the community services they have and see where they are, where the demands are. I look at the population, I look at the population growth, but I also look at essential services, because if the town has a post office, have a few banks, have a really quite large IGA or a good supermarket, as well as services like New South Wales or Centrelink or any of the areas that you need for community support, you'll find that it actually has a much larger catchment than it actually shows on the demographic and the population charts by, when you do a search on Google. See, the thing is, somewhere like, for example, I like to use Wangaratta in regional Victoria, they only show about 28,000 people local to town, but they actually have a catchment of about 98,000 people because of all of the surrounding little towns and because of the actual essential services that they offer. So this is very important. When you're looking at a regional town, look at not only what's there in town, but look at what essentially services they are and what is their catchment, because their catchment could mean that the town is actually a lot more busier than you think. So that actually gives you a lot more sustainability. Look at if the town is going forward or backwards, and you can tell that by seeing how many vacancies are there, how run down the building is, how much traffic comes in and out of town, especially in the middle of the day. So the best time to visit is the middle of the day and during a work day. To visit the town. Usually on weekends they tend to die out towards the afternoon on a Saturday, be very quiet on a Sunday. So during the week, in the middle of the day is where you want to come and visit a small town to see if it's truly delivering. And on top of that, make sure that you spend some time, talk to locals, have a coffee here, try out some of their specialties here so that you know the town, have the feel of what it's like, and that's going to help you to make a decision whether this town is worth you investing or not. So until next time, hopefully that's been helpful. Always, if you want to reach out to me, contact us at the helentarrant.com page. In the meantime, hit the bell, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.